unfortunately, the tendency in North America is to eat a very energy rich and nutrient poor diet. And so that means, in very simplistic terms, there's a ton of calories and very few micronutrients. And I mean, you get your macros, obviously, your fats, carbs, and proteins, but you're not getting what your body really needs to be nourished. Conversely, you could be eating a diet that is much lower in energy, but very, very high in micronutrients. And there's a lot to be said for that, because those micronutrients is what's going to provide your body with the signals and the materials it needs to keep you healthy. Number two is protein. Protein is wildly important when you're when you're using the GLP-1s. And that's because when the body is low on calories, so it's low on energy, one of the easiest things for it to get rid of is expensive tissue. It's not going to get rid of your brain because you need that. And it's not going to get rid of your heart because you really need that. But skeletal muscle is super expensive, and it will go after that skeletal muscle unless you are doing what it takes to send the signal to the body that no, 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 we need this around. And there's only one way to do that, and that's to exercise. And ideally, what you want to be doing is lifting heavy weights once or twice a week instead of just doing cardio all the time. So people might be sitting there going, well, why? Cardio burns more calories. Why can't I just do cardio? Well, because cardio, it's the very nature of cardio is that, particularly when people are like, let's say they're runners and they're doing a lot of long duration cardio, is cardio by its nature is catabolic. And what that means is you're breaking down muscle. If you look at all the distance runners out there, they're skinny as rails. These are not, as a matter of fact, they don't even look that healthy to begin with. Some of them are. I mean, it's what they do, and it's the body type you need to develop to do long distance running. But for most of us, it's not practical and it doesn't serve us. And particularly as women, as we age, we are much higher risk. Well, we know that we lose muscle. It's called sarcopenia. And our bones start to melt, partially because of hormonal changes, and in many cases, simply because we're not active enough. And that's osteopenia that can eventually develop into osteoporosis. So we have to prioritize protein. We have got to exercise. We need to lift heavy things, and you don't have to do it every single day, just once or twice a week. And I would say it's not the kind of heavy lifting you can probably do by yourself at the gym, because you're never going to push yourself that hard. So if you can find a trainer who understands these concepts, preferably not a 21-year-old at the gym who did a weekend course last week and is now a personal trainer, but like a real trainer who really gets it. Or you can look for a place like OsteoStrong, who have their entire premise was built on the founder's desire to help his mother fix her osteoporosis. And he did. And it fixed my mother's osteoporosis. It is dramatic how tiny little people who haven't lifted weights ever before in their lives can suddenly be pushing crazy heavy weights on these machines. And just that signal is enough to signal the body to make bone, right? Just to produce bone and to produce good quality bone. If we're going to use GLP-1s, this is your invitation to step through the door and really do the work. So that means you're going to take this opportunity to look at your diet and work with a professional who can help you to develop a nutrient-dense, protein-forward diet that is appropriate for you. It doesn't have to be steak. It can be fish. It can be chicken. I would do some steak personally, just because red meat has some particular attributes that are really, really helpful. And then you can eat as many vegetables that grow above ground as your heart desires. And that's where you're going to get your nutrient density as well. If you can get organs into your diet, amazing. If the thought of eating liver makes you gag, then there's some really great companies out there that make really powerful organ supplements that are basically dry, desiccated organs that have been ground up and put into capsules. If you do that, that's Mother Nature's multivitamin, right? And it's giving you a lot of vitamins and minerals in the form that your body recognizes as food. And so therefore it's very easy for the body to assimilate it.
Hey, that's a wrap for today. But before we go, I want to share something I've been diving into recently. The best way to use GLP1s like semaglutide, known as Ozempic or Wegovy, and tirzepatide, also called Mounjaro. These powerful weight loss peptides have become widely used over the past few years, but there's also been a flood of misinformation on how to use them safely and effectively. I made my own share of mistakes over the past few years, learning through trial and error as I work to improve my own metabolic health. I want to give you the shortcut to help you avoid these pitfalls so you can use these peptides more effectively. That's why I created a free mini course to give you the blueprint for using GLP-1s for body recomposition the right way. I will cover optimal dosing strategies, important lifestyle and hormone optimization steps, all of which can help you avoid plateaus and eventually taper off these peptides safely once your goals are reached. Now, to access this free mini video course, just scroll down to the show notes and dive right in. It's all there waiting for you. And remember, this podcast is for informational purposes only, and it is not a substitute for professional medical advice.